What I typically look for whenever I'm launching new ad creatives is I'm looking for 3 angles. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. So these 3 angles are going to be 3 different ways that I'm coming at this same problem. So let's say, for example, it's for my company and we help other companies scale through a blend of paid ads and organic marketing. So one of the main things that we do right now is we're attacking the fact that we're in a trust recession, right? According to the General Social Survey, which is the longest person-to-person trust study done in the United States, we're the lowest point of trust in the last 40 years. So you can't just do just ads. You can't just do just content. You need to have a blend of both. And a lot of people have been relying on just ads previously. And so what we need to do is make sure that those people are infusing content to build trust with people in order to convert them into clients. And so that's like the overall marketing messaging that we're doing. That's the marketing campaign. So what would be 3 examples of some angles I would do wherever I'm creating it? So one might be like, the hook might be something about the trust recession, okay? So I might be like, hey, did you know that we're at the lowest point of person-to-person trust in the last 40 years in the United States? Another one might be what is called Google's 7-11-4 rule. So on average, it takes 7 hours of content across 11 touch points in 4 different locations to turn a stranger into a buyer, right? So both of these are kind of talking about the same thing, that there's a lack of trust in the marketplace and it's harder and harder to run ads, but they're kind of coming at it in 2 different ways. A third way that I could do it could be anecdotal, meaning it could be my own story. So we had an ad that performed really well a couple of months ago, and it was something along the lines of how I lost $300,000 in ad spend in 1 month. By essentially breaking even. And when you added in sales commission and stuff like that, I was actually losing money after that. And so that was really going to be attracting the people that are already spending a lot of money on ads and are seeing a lower and lower return on their ad spend, which is happening a lot. That's why we're enrolling a lot of clients, is because a lot of people are having a hard time with their advertising strategies. So these are all 3 things that are essentially coming down, talking about the same thing, which is that whatever you were doing previously no longer works and you need something new, right? So those are what's called ad angles. So typically when I am launching new ads, I will take either my winning ads that I had before, or I'll take my sales calls, my VSLs, and my webinars. I'll use ChatGPT and I'll play around with it, and I'll essentially be like, okay, let's create some new angles following what people said in these sales calls and in my VS on the webinar. That way it's all one long journey from end to end. And honestly, you could come up with dozens of different angles, but remember, we really don't need to be testing 400 ads every single week or every 2 weeks. You want to test, depending on your ad spend, anywhere from 5 ads a week to 15 ads a week. So how do we then take 3 angles and we turn it into actually, like, let's say 10 to 15 ads? Well, the angle is the overall concept of the ad. Then inside of there, you also have to talk about the actual ad creative. So the video, the hook, the body, the primary text, the headline. If you want to get really specific with it, you can go into the thumbnail, et cetera, right? So these are all things that you will have to run for each one of these. And so I'm not going to do the math here because I want to keep this video relatively short. But if you take the trust recession, and I could do 3 different hooks on the trust recession. So did you know that we're at the lowest point of person-to-person trust in the last 40 years? That could be one of them. The second one could be like, there's a reason why you're not booking sales calls like you used to. Another one could be, what's another good hook for trust recession? We just recently entered into a recession, but not the one that you may think. So I just gave you 3 versions of the hooks. And then the body, you could have 1 or 2 versions of the body, but that's going to go deeper into the trust recession. And what I typically like to see is, I'm trying to think of how to illustrate this, but is the body is going to be pretty much the same for all 3 angles, except for maybe the first 1 or 2 lines where you're bridging the gap between that angle and the rest of the body. Because ultimately, even though these are different angles, I'm all kind of talking about the same thing, creating a hybrid content marketing system that uses paid ads and organic marketing in order to scale. And when I'm doing that, I'm using these different angles in order to kind of capture different people's attention top of funnel. So I might use the hook and 1 or 2 sentences to then eventually end up at the main body, which is going to be the same for almost all of them. And then of course you have different headline tests you could do, different thumbnails, et cetera, et cetera. So you could take 3 different ads. Let's say each of them you have 6 hooks, 2, 4, 6. So that's 18 different ads that you're running, right? And then you could run multiple bodies and multiple headlines and multiple thumbnails, and that's how you really quickly scale up to dozens of ads every single month from like an hour or two of actual filming.
If you want my help installing any of these systems in your business done for you, be sure to book a call with my team down below.